We see American artillery. We see Royal Artillery. And normally the artillery would start first to soften up the infantry. The way to age a cannon is to weigh the cannonball. If the cannonball weighs 6 pounds, the cannon is known as a 6-pounder. 3 pounds, 3-pounder.
There we go.
To put that in perspective, the British ship of the line had 100 cannons. They were normally 32-pounders. So those were big guns. That sounds about a 6-pounder. And if you're lucky,
yeah, that'd be
it'll spew out a smoke ring.
6 times as much. Man, that'd been
Yesterday we had thousands and thousands of students. And every time there was a smoke ring, there was a big round of applause. Did I miss one? Oh. There was a multitude of shot that the cannons could shoot. A solid lead ball or iron ball. A cannonball cut in half, which was joined by a length of chain, which took the infantry. And now you have American militia, and I know that because they're not wearing uniforms, and they have taken up a position and have engaged the Indians in a firefight. Now the Indians usually fought the way they hunted, singly, no line. But the army fought in what they call Napoleonic style warfare. They lined up. Coming on the field right now are dragoons. That is a word meaning cavalry. And we have the horses lined up so that the cavalry could fire. The muskets were very inaccurate, and to just shoot one at a time would not usually do too much. But if you stood shoulder to shoulder and fired it all at once, you would send a wall of lead towards the enemy. It usually takes a reenactor about a year to learn the drill and to learn how to fight. It usually takes about 3 years to train a horse. Not only are you going to ride him into gunfire, you're going to fire over his head.
said the ones that
I think it was 32 of them.
36 on the ships?
Yeah, they're inside.
Smoke ring.
There's a smoke ring from the Royal Artillery. Both armies uniformed their artillery in blue coats. That was because the cannon is very, very dirty. It uses what we call black powder. And thus the soot would get on the uniforms. Coming onto the field from your right is green dressed riflemen. Early war they wore green hunting frocks. A little later on they wore gray uniforms, and you can see the officer out in the field wearing gray. In the middle of the field you see regular soldiers, U.S. Army. In the beginning of the war, they wore blue coats, red collars, and cuffs. A little later on, red was hard to get, so they went to an all-blue uniform.
Hey John, that's an 8-pound cannon right there every time you shoot 125. 8 pounds.
I've got one question for you, and that is, what does Indiana mean? I'll grab one person at the end of the battle, and they can answer, what does Indiana mean? Coming onto the field on your left is the 90th Rifle Regiment. It's a Crown Forces regiment, and they're coming on so they can fight against the American riflemen. They also wear green.
That was convenient.
The reason I'm using the term Crown Forces instead of British, because there were Canadian regiments, Swiss regiments, Prussian regiments, British regiments, all fighting for the Crown. So now in the field you have Crown Militia, Indians, Crown Rifles, and Crown Cavalry. On the right you have U.S. Militia, U.S. Regulars, and U.S. Riflemen.